#5 German letters every immigrant must never ignore. The most dangerous thing in Germany is not always a person. Sometimes it is a white envelope sitting quietly in your mailbox. You come home tired. You see German words you do not understand. Finanzamt, Ausländerbehörde, Beitragsservice, Mahnung, Kündigung. And because you are busy, stressed, or afraid of bad news, you tell yourself, I will check it later. But in Germany, later can become expensive. A letter you ignore today can become a fine tomorrow. A missed deadline can become a blocked bank account. A small mistake can become a residence problem. And sometimes the worst part is not that you did something wrong. The worst part is that you simply did nothing. So in this video, we are going through 5 German letters every immigrant must never ignore. Not because you should live in fear, but because understanding these letters can protect your money, your home, your legal status, and your peace of mind. This video is general information, not legal or tax advice. If you receive a serious letter, always contact the right authority, a qualified advisor, a lawyer, a tenants association, or an immigration support office. Letter number 1, the Steuerbescheid from the Finanzamt. The Finanzamt is the German tax office. A Steuerbescheid is your tax assessment notice. This letter tells you whether you owe tax, whether you are getting money back, or whether the Finanzamt has accepted or rejected parts of your tax declaration. Many people make one dangerous mistake. They see a tax letter and assume, this is final, there is nothing I can do. That is not always true. If the Steuerbescheid is wrong, you may be able to file an Einspruch. An Einspruch is an objection, but there is usually a deadline, and that deadline matters. So when this letter arrives, do not throw it into a drawer. Open it. Check the amount. Check whether you must pay or whether you are getting a refund. Check the deadline, and if you do not understand it, get help, because in Germany the problem is not only the letter, the problem is the deadline hiding inside the letter. Letter number 2, the Rundfunkbeitrag letter. Many immigrants still call it GEZ, even though the official system is now the Rundfunkbeitrag. This letter usually comes from the Beitrag service, and this is where many newcomers get angry. They say, I do not watch German TV. I do not listen to radio. I only use Netflix and YouTube. But the Rundfunkbeitrag is not based on whether you personally watch television. It is usually charged per household. That means one apartment normally pays one contribution. The danger is not only the monthly fee. The danger is ignoring the letter. Because unpaid Rundfunkbeitrag can grow. First you may receive reminders, then a formal notice, then enforcement. It can lead to account seizure or other collection actions. So if you receive this letter, do not panic, but do not ignore it. Check whether someone in your household is already paying. If yes, you may need to send the Beitragsnummer. If you receive certain benefits, check whether you can apply for exemption. But do something, because silence is not a strategy in Germany. Letter number 3, a letter from the Ausländerbehörde. For non-EU immigrants, this may be one of the most important letters you will ever receive in Germany. The Ausländerbehörde controls residence permits, renewals, appointments, missing documents, and legal status. This letter can mean your residence permit is expiring, your application needs more documents, your appointment has been scheduled, your permit has been approved, or your application has a problem. This is not the letter to open 3 weeks later. If the Ausländerbehörde asks for documents, respond quickly. If your permit is about to expire, start early. If the office has not decided yet, ask about a Fiktionsbescheinigung. A Fiktionsbescheinigung can temporarily prove that your residence situation is still being processed. But you must not wait until everything has already collapsed. Immigration problems often begin slowly. First you delay, then you miss an appointment, then your document expires, then you cannot work properly, then you cannot travel, then everything becomes more stressful than it needed to be. So if you see Ausländerbehörde on a letter, treat it as urgent. Letter number 4, Mahnung, Inkasso, or Mahnbescheid. This is where many people get confused. A Mahnung is a payment reminder. It may come from a company, landlord, phone provider, electricity provider, or online shop. An Inkasso letter comes from a debt collection company. A Mahnbescheid is more serious. That one comes through a court payment order procedure. Do not treat all 3 as the same, but do not ignore any of them. If you receive a Mahnung, Check whether the debt is real. Did you really forget to pay? Was the amount correct? Did you cancel a contract properly? If the claim is wrong, respond in writing. If the claim is correct but you cannot pay everything at once, ask for a payment plan. But if you receive a Mahnbescheid, move fast. That is not just a normal reminder. That is part of a legal process. If you do nothing, the situation can move toward enforcement. And once enforcement begins, life becomes harder. Your credit record can suffer, your bank account can be affected, your wages can be garnished, and future landlords may see you as risky. So the rule is simple. A payment letter is not shame, it is a signal. Open it early, understand it early, and act early. Letter number 5, Kündigung from your landlord or employer. Kündigung means termination, and in Germany this word can affect your housing, your job, and your stability. If your landlord sends you a Kündigung, do not immediately pack your bags. Germany has strong tenant protections. A landlord cannot usually remove you without following legal rules. The termination must be in writing. There must usually be a valid reason. There are notice periods, and in some cases you may be able to challenge the termination. But here is the trap. You cannot protect your rights if you ignore the letter. You need to read it, you need to check the date, and you may need to contact a Mieterverein, lawyer, or tenant advice office. The same principle applies to job termination. If you lose your job or receive notice, deadlines may begin immediately. You may need to contact the Agentur für Arbeit quickly. You may need to protect your unemployment benefits. You may need to respond before a deadline passes. In Germany, rights exist, but rights often have deadlines, and if you miss those deadlines, your rights may become harder to use. Now here is the bigger lesson. German letters are not designed to entertain you. They are designed to create a record, a deadline, a responsibility, a decision, and sometimes a consequence. That is why immigrants must build a letter system. Every time you receive an official-looking letter, do 5 things. 1. Open it the same day. 2. Translate it. 3. Identify who sent it. 4. Find the deadline. 5. Take action or ask for help. Do not rely only on your memory. Take a photo. Save the PDF. Put the deadline in your phone. Create a folder for German letters. Use categories like tax, immigration, housing, debt, insurance, school, work. Because one day you may need that letter again. Germany rewards organization, but it punishes silence. And this is why the smartest immigrants are not always the ones who speak perfect German. Sometimes they are simply the ones who open their letters early. So the next time you see a German envelope in your mailbox, do not be afraid. Open it, translate it, understand it, and act. Because that small envelope may be protecting your money, your home, your legal status, and your future. What German letter confused you the most when you first arrived in Germany? Write it in the comments. And if you want practical guides to survive and succeed in Germany, subscribe to the Immigrant Advantage.